Welcome, ladies. Welcome to the show. Please introduce yourselves. Ina, all right. Where are you located and what is your occupation?
I work in customer service and I'm located in Florida.
Awesome. Jay?
I am also in Florida. I'm a registered nurse and a professional speaker. I'm new to that in a professional capacity, so I'm branching out.
Awesome. Welcome. Angela?
Hi, my name is Angela. I am a mental health counselor in the New York area.
Awesome. And Teresa?
Good evening. My name is Teresa. I'm up in the nice and warm Chicagoland area. I am retired military and volunteer as a youth mentor in the community. And happy to be here.
Awesome. Awesome. Welcome, ladies. Welcome. Let's dive into these topics. DJ Vlad reacts to Taraji P. Henson speaking on being underpaid.
But it shouldn't be to the point where
person to say, I'm going to accept this offer. They could say, listen, it's not enough money. Lots of times I've negotiated with people, hey, it's not enough money.
Cool. Vlad, it's the lie.
The lie? What lie?
The lie that when you get into the industry, people tell you, yo, you get to this level and you get to this level and you're going to get to this level and that was a great movie. Watch, one day you're going to get to this level. And then they reach a ceiling and they're like, wait a minute.
You know what happens when you reach a ceiling? It's time for you to go around and go take the stairs to get to a higher floor. Find where the elevator is. I understand. And I've seen the comments.
You don't got the answers, Vlad. You don't got the answers.
I do have the answers.
You don't got the answers.
At the point where you say,
you don't got the answers.
By me being an actor or an actress, I'm not getting what I want.
Maybe
it's time for me to be a producer.
Do you think
me to be a director?
Do you think?
And now he's putting out his own sneakers.
So when you sit there and be like,
well,
make your own movies. No, bro. No.
You could totally make your own movies.
They know what's going on.
They could
really?
2 words. Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry's been killing it independently.
All right, ladies. So the first question on the floor is, in your opinion, should Taraji keep her frustrations away from the public? All right, and I will start with Gina. What's your take on that question?
Should she keep her opinions away from the public?
Like her frustrations. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or her frustration with no, I think she's a celebrity, and if she wants to voice her opinion on how she feels, I don't see the problem with that, especially because people are so invested in celebrities' lives. So if they're willing to share, and a lot of times they don't want to share, and fans, we want to know what's going on. So I don't think she should keep it away. If she's open with speaking on it, then I think that's fine.
All right, sounds good. Jay?
All right, so my heart is like pounding super hard. Like watching that video, it got me really irate because, okay, so I think you're paid on like a scale. It's like a value-based scale. And when you get to a certain level, you should be making in this range. And if she's at that level and is not getting that, then it's a problem. People like Viola Davis have spoken out about that too, because people keep telling her, oh, you're the Black Meryl Streep. And she's not making anywhere near what Meryl Streep is making. Like, there is a huge disparity. And DJ Vlad just like throwing it off and making it seem like, oh, it's nothing. Because even Tyler Perry, he said he paid Taraji more than she's ever made. And whoever was doing the interview asked him, did you pay her what she's worth? And he was silent. Like, come on. For the caliber of work that she's done, the body of work that she's done, she has a right to say, I deserve more. And too often we have like Black women be told, oh,
Joy. Now, Joy is one of my favorites. It smells so yummy, so fruity, so good. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. I love this scent, guys. I love Joy. I love this scent so much. Ooh. You know, and that's the thing about Joy. It makes me want to smile. It makes me want to laugh. I don't know, but it really does bring that joy out of me. I'll get you some because I'm personally obsessed.
You're fine. You have a $6 million house. You have nothing to worry about. Nobody wants to hear a millionaire complain. But you're not hearing why people screaming about this, because they are getting paid what they're worth based on the caliber of work. Like, it's just not a level playing field. And I think her bringing awareness to it and speaking about it publicly helps to bring awareness. It helps us who don't know their exact pay scale and stuff. It allows agents and other producers and stuff to be like, listen, she's serious about her money. She's serious about her worth. So we now have to like step up if we want this amazing actress to be a part of our projects.
Angela?
So I'm gonna take this from a mental health perspective. And what I feel is that from watching some of her interviews, she was holding some stuff in for a while. I think it was she was around her colleagues or the other people that did the movie with her, and I think the frustration came out. And I think once she started, she couldn't stop in terms of going to interviews and just continue. It's gonna come out one way or the next, and that's how I feel about when you're holding something back or when you're trying to hide something that you need to talk about. And so basically that's my perspective on it. I think the way she talked about it was going to come out one way or the next, and needed to come out for her to be to let some of that stuff out and let go of it. Now, do I think that it's always the best idea professionally? That's another story, because it could have worked another way for her, but her talent is so big that bottom line is, so far I don't think that it's worked negatively. Whatever she said worked negatively towards her getting more projects. So we'll see. And it had to come out one way or the next. She couldn't keep holding it in and feeling like her talent was being undervalued. So that's my take on it, and thank you so much.
Teresa?
I not even really sure why that is a question to ask. Not saying for you, but even a thought that someone would have, because I see it as, for a mother who have a soon-to-be 21-year-old, an aspiring actress who's studying, it is very important to know the good, the bad, and everything in between, and no matter what industry you go into. And how I see it, like most industries, we're going to sell you so you can come in. That's the whole point of it. We're going to give you the good, but we also want the cons to it too. And I think it was very important. And yeah, I think it was good that she did share it, because just like other actresses before her who expressed it, they've expressed it many times. They're not just doing it for them. They're doing it for the next generation of people that's coming in right behind them, who shouldn't have to go through these same challenges, because no matter what field you're in, you should know your worth. You should know the time you put in, the effort, and you should know that if you're not being valued the way you're supposed to be valued, it's important to express it. And it's also important to address it in a healthy way where it can be not just better for you, but for everyone. So absolutely. It's why not? I mean, I had this conversation many times with my daughter to have her even understand this is how it's supposed to be. Yes, it's good. It's nothing different in it. I can equate it to the military. The misconception of how much you get, and whatever we may get, we've earned it, whatever it has been. So a lot of times people don't understand the work that goes into any of these fields, that people put their time, their passion in this, and why they feel the way they feel, as to what they know that they need to receive. And I just hope it works out for her. And as one had mentioned, so far, it looks like it's been working pretty well for her since she have opened up more about it. So I like that she did.
All right, thank you, Teresa, and thank you, ladies, for giving your opinion on that topic. So we're actually going to move on to the next topic. Four Georgia women sue for millions after study finds health impacts of hair relaxers.
Attorneys for a Missouri woman stood outside the Dirksen Federal Building. They allege in a lawsuit filed Friday against 5 companies that the companies' hair relaxers caused the woman's uterine cancer.
I am the first voice of many voices to come that will stand up to these companies and say no more.
Jenny Mitchell says she was 8 years old when she began using relaxer to straighten her hair. She says at 28, she had a complete hysterectomy.
I'm 32 years old right now, and I'm still feeling that void of not being able to.
Imagine those many chemicals being placed on your scalp every 2 weeks or every month for 10 years. That's what we're facing here.
It is very heartbreaking to hear these accounts from these dozens and dozens of women that are calling us who have been diagnosed with uterine cancer at such young ages.
Mitchell's attorneys refer to a new study from the National Institutes of Health that found an association between uterine cancer and using relaxers, which may impact more African American women.
There's a lot of different factors that play in, but unfortunately, uterine cancer remains a cancer with a very big disparity in outcomes.
Anita Lee is a gynecological oncologist with U Chicago Medicine. And while she says more needs to be done on this issue, she says the study gives women information to consider.
So more women are dying of this cancer and being diagnosed with this cancer. So as a whole, raising awareness of like what we could be thinking about and looking for causes is extremely important.
Dr. Lee also shared this study shows the importance of having better minority representation in the sciences and in medical research studies.
Ladies, so the question on the floor is, have you ever gotten a hair relaxer? All right, have you ever gotten a hair relaxer? And I will start with you, Teresa.
Oh, yes, I have. Don't know how early, but I know I was a kid. No, I was young. So I got it because I guess everybody else was getting it.
All right, let's see. Angela, have you ever had a relaxer?
I tried to relax as a teenager. I just do the Dominican blowout and go about my business.
Jay?
I had a relaxer for 2 years when I was like 21 to 23. That was it. My mom, I begged and begged, and she was like, nope. So,
Gina?
Yes, I've gotten my hair relaxed many times. Yes.
All right, and were you an adult or a child when you first got one?
As kind of like Teresa, as early as I can remember, I would say 7, 8.
Okay, all right. The next question on the floor is, do you use hair relaxers currently? All right. And I will go to Teresa. Do you use hair relaxers currently?
No, I do not. I probably need to start counting how long it's been, but no, I do not use hair relaxers.
All right, and why not, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, okay. Going back to how it started, I'm a kid, I'm a baby. I think much of it was culturally because, you know, if not, your hair is nappy and you're hearing it from people who look like you. So it was just one of those things, I guess, we had to do. Once I joined the military, I did a few times because of the standards in order to be the way the appearance supposed to look, whether or not it's professional or not. But I can't really remember what really stopped it. I know a part of it was I just did not like going through the processes. I'm obviously not reading the manual because I'm getting spots in my head, sores in my head if it's in for too long, knowing what if it's medium, high, low, whatever it was called. It was just a lot of work. It felt like I was doing a lot for something that was temporary and I had to keep doing it over and over and over again. But at some period of time, I switched and just kept my hair in micro braids. Um, so, I mean, and then from there, because locks wasn't even, couldn't wear locks when I was in the military. So, I mean, I just, much of my life, I was in the military. So I had to go off of whatever the standards were. Um, but when I ultimately stopped, I didn't like it. It didn't feel right. I didn't understand it. Once I got older, I didn't understand it. When I was younger, that's what everybody else was doing. But once I got older, I didn't understand why I was doing it. And it felt more painful. But it's more freeing now that I no longer do it. So it's just been so long ago, I can't even remember.
All right, thank you, Teresa. Angela?
Yeah, so I don't do relaxers. I haven't done a relaxer for a while. I do. The Dominicans do an excellent job in blowing out my hair, and so I'm good with that. And I'm surrounded by a lot of doctors and nurses, and we talk about all types of topics. And one of them, it always comes up in terms of once you are a person of color, Black, American, whatever you are, Latino, Afro, Latino, whatever you are. And so all that information, I just was like, I don't want that. I'm just trying to I just want to try to live the most healthiest life I possibly can by removing things if I don't absolutely need them. And so that's why. Yeah.
Jay?
So I guess I just did it for like an experimental period of time. When I first did it, it was like long and I was like, yay. And then something in the chemicals in the water, it like cut my hair out. So I had to end up getting a trim and then I stopped taking care of it. And then I started doing sew-ins and then it was just a mess. And I was just like, I just cut it off. And yeah, I've always done my hair, but now I got locks. So yay. I love locks.
All right, Gina?
Yeah, so I don't relax my hair anymore. It's natural now, but I used to relax it for a long time. The reason why I kind of switched it up was a couple of reasons. I noticed my hair wasn't as healthy when I had it relaxed. Also, so I have I have a daughter, and when she was first born, she had no hair. She was bald, to the point where up until like 2 years old, people would be like, "Is that a girl or a boy?" And I used to be like, "Oh my gosh, she needs to grow some hair." Anyway, long story short, I started looking into hair care and how to get her hair, how to have her, for her to have a healthy hair journey. So I started doing some tips and tricks that I found off of YouTube. She's now 14. Her hair is about to her hips. So it's pretty long now. And so I'm like, if she could do that, I can do that. So I cut off my hair. When I noticed her hair was like probably mid back, I was like, you know what? I'm the one taking care of her hair anyway. I know all the tips and tricks. I can do that to my own hair. So I shaved my hair off. And ever since then, I've been natural.
Wow, that's a really cool story. Thank you, Gina. All right, we're going to move on. All right, the next topic is this. The March of Dimes has released its 2023 report card on the state of maternal and infant health for American families.
The report really shows the struggles right now that women across America are having during pregnancy and childbirth. All now is getting a first look at a new March of Dimes report card, which says, quote, the U.S. remains among the most dangerous of developed nations for childbirth, particularly for communities of color. For the first time in 6 years, the number of overall premature births in the U.S. declined, except for some key groups. The rates of preterm birth are increasing among communities of color, specifically for Black, American, Indian, Alaska Native women. March of Dimes gave the U.S. a C- grade, with a little more than 10% of all births being premature.
Joining us now is the president and CEO of March of Dimes, Stacey D. Stewart. Stacey, thank you so much for joining us and unveiling this report here on Morning News Now. So let's talk about some of these numbers here and numbers of premature births in the past year, and especially these rate disparities that we see among your report. So your report found Black, American, Indian, and Alaskan Native women are 60% more likely to give birth preterm compared to white women.
And we have so much more work to do to actually help more moms and babies be healthy.
I mean, really, any one is unacceptable, but we know that more than 22 million women of childbearing age live in what are called maternity care deserts. So this is a new term to us. What does that mean, and what's your advice to women in these areas?
So one of the things about maternal and infant health in this country is, and you mentioned this earlier, it's really shocking for people to really understand that the U.S., as one of the wealthiest nations in the world, is also one of the most dangerous developed nations in the world in which to give birth. And there's so many reasons for it. Lack of access to insurance. But one of the things that you mentioned around maternity care deserts, these are places where women live, counties that have no access to obstetric care. And over half of all the counties in the country actually have no access to obstetric care, meaning no hospital offers labor and delivery, no certified nurse midwife, no OBGYN, or they have very limited care. And this affects really millions of women of childbearing age. About 7 million women of childbearing age live in these deserts or close to deserts. And that's one of the things at the March of Dimes we're fighting for, making sure that women have access to coverage by extending Medicaid postpartum 12 months, making sure that women have access to different levels of care, for example, access to doulas and midwives. These are the things that we need to do in order to address the maternal and infant health crisis, especially for women of color. We have to make sure that women have coverage to go to the doctor, to get prenatal care. We know that far too many women don't receive adequate prenatal care. But really the health of moms and babies is really determined by how we live. So we've got to look holistically at what we call social determinants of health. And especially that's true for women of color, where we know the effects of racism and discrimination can have an impact on their physical health, their mental health, and that shows up in some of these rates around preterm birth, maternal mortality and morbidity, women that die as a result of pregnancy and childbirth. So our advocacy at the March Dimes is really very holistic and comprehensive, working with Congress to pass what's called a momnibus package of bills to address this issue holistically.
It is important to focus on both prenatal and postpartum care. Stacey D. Stewart from the March of Dimes.
Well, the question is, in your opinion, why isn't maternal health a priority in the United States? And I will start with Teresa.
I'll be 40 this year. I've never been the type to hesitate to say my age. My daughter will be 21. I had teenage pregnancy. I didn't know much. I'm still learning every day, and I only have one child. But I didn't know much at all as far as while I was pregnant, when I was in labor. I was very, very uneducated in the process. Never even breastfed. It was kind of scary to me. Didn't know much about any of that. So when these topics come up, it's a little bit more eye-opening for me each time it come up, because I know that much of it, I know that I didn't prioritize being educated with it before I started the process to even know the full spectrum of what's unfortunately has been going on with what's been going on today as far as what's happening to women and their children. So I can't fully say as a whole why it isn't prioritized. I could just say as an individual, for the longest of time, I just did not understand. And I started so early that as I even day by day with a soon to be 21-year-old, I still try to educate and teach her. It's just so much that's out there that some things you just don't know, or unless something is passed down. So just speaking from an individual perspective, I'm doing better with prioritizing my health as a whole in order to be able to even understand maternal health. So that's as much as I can speak on that particular question.
Angela?
Okay, so okay. I worked for 2 city hospitals and in underserved communities. And that's bottom line is they don't care about us. I'm sorry to say that because the majority of people that work in those hospitals, they look just like us, right? But the pressure that you have in those jobs, sometimes even you stop caring about your patients. Not a bit consciously because you are fed up and you're trying to take care of yourself. So to take that time to see people and to try to educate them is like problematic. You just like, I got to do this job and this one is on my back. The supervisor is something else. And it's a problem. So it's a bigger problem that I think we can even, I don't think we can even begin to touch on because there's so many different avenues. And education, they do not put enough in educating people when they are pregnant about different things. Make pamphlets. I don't know. Anything. Like I said, I'm in the New York area. I've worked for 2 New York City city hospitals. Where's the education? Right? They're getting all this funding and the top guys are making amazing money. And it's not trickling down to the actual people that you're serving. Because they always say, oh, we can't refuse anybody. So it doesn't matter where, if you're an immigrant just coming to this country, a migrant, whoever you are, they have to take you. But nothing says that they have to give you quality healthcare. So basically, I'm a little touchy on this subject. And let me say one thing about breastfeeding. A mother won't be able to latch on, won't be able to, they think that they try it, they feel like they're a failure, whatever. Nobody really pays attention to that mom that wants to try. There's not enough lactation nurses or specialists to go around. If you have one in a city hospital, you have a lot. And so I'm going to leave it there because it's like it's a hurtful subject because you as one person is but so much you can do. It's a political situation when you work in a hospital, right? And even if we're all the same, I really can't do much on my own without somebody saying she's a problem. We need to start getting rid of her. So that's where I am with that.
That was actually very insightful because I have never worked in a hospital. So that was actually very insightful. And the viewers would definitely appreciate the information you just gave because that was actually very insightful. Thank you so much, Angela.
Oh, wait, one more thing. And I just want to say that the nurses and everyone else, there are a lot of people there that do their best. It's just that they're in a situation where they really can't do much on their own or even when you band together in a small group. And some people do care. It's just not much can be done. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Jay?
Angela touched on a lot of things, man. She touched on a lot of things. The system. So it's a male-led system. Men don't know anything about how our bodies work. They study, they are told that, but they don't know what it is like to be a woman. They don't understand how our body works, how it feels, and it's like a pervasive problem in medicine overall. I'm gonna mention one thing, because like even like the testing of drugs and stuff, they will affect women differently based on where they are in their cycle. But those things are not examined because the man is the standard and it's that. So the birthing process, a friend of mine, she's one of my friends from nursing school. She is a birth practitioner. She is a hypnobirth practitioner. She has her own practice and she also still works in the hospital. So like she's super passionate about, like, from nursing school, she was like, this is what I'm gonna do. And it's needed in the space. Like the education isn't there. Teresa said she was afraid to breastfeed. I was like that is the most intimate and precious thing. And nobody told her that this is what your baby needs. Like being a young mom, being a Black mom, these things put you at such a disadvantage. It is a shame. And in this country that is a developed country, they don't care about us. I'm getting a little emotional. It's
okay. It's okay, honey. It's okay.
It's heartbreaking. And one of the things that she stresses is having somebody with you. Because when you have somebody with you to be an advocate, that helps so much. But even in that situation, sometimes they don't listen. Like things happen and you're like, I don't feel right in my body. Get me a doctor. And unless you have somebody that's going to be banging on that nurse's station, you're going to sit there and bleed out. Or something's wrong with my baby's not. And it's sad and heartbreaking. And there are nurses, as Angela said, there are nurses that they're trying their best, they're doing their best, but the system does not support it. We don't get the help that we need. It's like a baby factory. Churn them out as quickly as you can. C-section, next, C-section, next. This one is ready. Like, when I was giving birth, the doctor came in, like that nurse is the one that delivered my baby. Okay? The doctor came in when the head was ready to come out. Like, come on. Come on. There is so much that is needed. And you see, as women, we're nurturers. And if the birthing space was a space of nourishment where, like, the older women, like how they did it, well, I think the first problem was pushing women out of the birthing space. Because when you have the grandmothers and the midwives and the women who are in the community and they're allowed to be in the space, and you rally around these young mothers and you teach them how to latch, because like babies, a lot of times they won't latch the first time. Sometimes you have to like position a nipple a certain way. Sometimes you have an inverted nipple. Sometimes there is a problem with their mouth that they can't latch. Like these are a lot of different things that can happen. And if you don't have that extra support, you will feel like a failure and you are a brand new mom. Like the support is just, it's sad. And it is very dismal. And I think once we get women leading birthing spaces, we will see a big difference in how it is women are treated when it is time to give birth. Because the masculine system is very cold, very systematic, very get it done and get out. But when you have the women and we're able to nurture and teach and help, like, because a new baby is a lot of work. That's a lot of work, and doing it by yourself. And then a lot of women have postpartum depression and no support. No, like it is dismal and it is sad. But I think once we get women leading the birthing space, if we were allowed to just be in just this department, just give us maternity, we can run it and make sure. And I don't know if birthing is profitable or not, but I'm guessing it's not bringing in the big bucks, which is a part of why it's not a huge priority. And that's very sad.
Thank you so much for that.
Well, let me start off by saying that I'm not educated enough on this topic to give a real opinion, but my opinion is going to differ a little bit from everyone else. I don't think it's not a priority. From what I've seen, it is. Maternal health is and has been a priority in the United States. There are, I think someone mentioned there's a lack of education regarding these things, and I firmly believe that. But at the same time, I'm also a big proponent of we have to do our own research because everything is not going to be handed down to us. But with that being said, I had my daughter, many years ago, 14 years ago. I don't know this, maybe it's changed, but when I had my baby, the doctors, they were there. I had round the clock care. There was WIC, I believe. I think WIC is still a thing. So there's resources out there for mothers. And even, I know a lot of ladies spoke about the issues with the breastfeeding and things like that. But for me, breastfeeding, even within the hospital, when I first I remember that I did have an advocate personally assigned to me. And when she wasn't available, there was someone else that I could call 24 hours a day. So if I had any issues, I had someone to help me. And even when I went home, they said if I had issues at home, that someone could come out to my house and help me. So I don't know if there's if it's different in other states. I had my baby in South Florida. So I feel like I had all the resources I needed and then some. I even as far as getting things for for my daughter, like Pampers and cribs and clothes, all those type of things. My doctor, my OBGYN at the time, she was like, you can get this from here, you can get that from there, you can get this from here. Like they were giving me the resources. I was kind of young, I guess. I was in late 20s. So I didn't have the negative experience. The doctors were amazing. The nurses were phenomenal. And I had so much support at the time. So to me, I don't see it. Like I said, I think there's a lack of education maybe, but I just don't agree with that maternal health is not a priority.
Respectfully, the reason why the reason why I actually put the question that way is because literally the article I gave you ladies, they were literally United States maternal health was literally rated like a D. And mind you, like we're a developed country. If you look at the stats comparing the United States to literally places like Japan, and I can keep going, but there's other developed countries that are doing very well, just as well as the United States are very close, and their maternal mortality rate is nowhere close to ours. It's way lower. So it is quite high. It's like honestly, it is really like I'm so happy you had a good experience, but literally it's graded bad. It's like it's gotten worse since the pandemic. But I'm very happy you had a good experience. I'm like really relieved to hear that. And it looks like Jay has something to say, so I'll let Jay jump in.
Yeah. So I'm happy that you had a good experience as well. My experience giving birth was not a bad experience. And it's not, there are individuals who have had good experiences and stuff, but as Madison just pointed out, like the March of that, they were graded by an international body and they got a D. So compared to other places, it really isn't where it should be. So while your experience was good, a lot of women have died. I saw a story recently where a man, his wife died and now he's left father with a brand new baby, and that's not an uncommon occurrence. Like I heard about, I'm sorry if this is going to trigger anybody, so sorry, but I heard of a case in Georgia where during birth, the baby was decapitated and they wrapped the baby up so that the mother would not see that they did that during delivery. Like, how is this happening in a first world country? So it's bigger than just one experience or two. Like it's bigger than individual experiences. And as the news clipping said, and my friend, she did it, she spoke about it as well, 1/3 of America is in a maternal desert. 1/3. 1/3. 1 in 3. That is like 1/3 of the country doesn't have proper maternal care. That's not a priority.
Thank you, ladies, so much. I know we can keep going. I know we can keep going on this one, but we have a couple more topics that I'm going to try to squeeze in and then we're good to go. The Brick Lady case is causing a stir on social media for the Protect Black Women movement.
A Houston woman is recovering after she says a man hit her in the head, in the face, with a brick. Robache says he attacked her after she refused to give him her cell phone number, all while a crowd of men stood there watching.
What have I ever done to anybody in my life to deserve this? Literally, a man asked me for my number. I said no, and he picked up a brick in front of so many men, and was like, "What you gonna do?" Like, yo, why this man got a brick on my face? This man just hit me in my face with a brick, and all these black men just watched.
This video, with more than 1 million likes on the Shade Room's Instagram page, captured the moments after what appeared to be a brutal attack in West Houston.
She told the detective that responded that she was hit in the head with a brick after she refused to give her phone number to a guy on the street.
And was that verified by any of the evidence that detectives looked at?
No. That was not verified.
Harris County prosecutor Keith Houston says surveillance videos from that early September morning show Osman hitting a man first.
So she's the one she was the aggressor?
She was the aggressor, yes.
And it was a water bottle that hit her, not a brick?
He did have a water bottle in his hand, and we think that's what left the mark.
According to court documents, she asked someone else to launch this GoFundMe for her recovery, raising more than $42,000. But as the story went viral, a blogger on TikTok called police, alerting them to this 2020 GoFundMe, which claimed a vicious assault by a security guard in Minneapolis.
Detective Thornton verified with Minneapolis police that there was no assault done at that time. It was completely fictional.
In an Instagram story posted Wednesday, Osman addressed those who have doubted her.
I actually have things going on in my life. I actually have real ways to make money. I don't have to get a GoFundMe for money. I actually can earn income because I'm actually educated and I actually am talented.
Have you ever felt pressured into giving your number to someone that you weren't particularly interested in? All right, and I will start with Teresa.
If I have, it's been so long ago. Times, if I feel that way, I say no and just keep it moving. So I can't tell you the last time I felt like I felt pressured or whatever to give a number.
Angela?
Yeah, I felt pressure and I felt a need to handle it very delicately because unfortunately we have a mental health crisis and you don't want to trigger somebody. You don't want someone to do something to you just because you said no. So yes, and that's it.
Jay?
Not pressure, no. I guess I've developed a good way to curve and move on.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. Gina?
Yeah, I was trying to think, but if kind of like Teresa again, if it happened, it's been so long. I have absolutely no problem with saying no, thank you, I'm not interested. I'm very good at communicating, but I know I know that I've felt, at least when I was younger, I know there have been times where I have felt like I need to turn them away gently because I don't know if this may escalate. I will say that, but as far as saying no, yeah, I don't have a problem with saying no.
The next question that I have for you is, do you think Rhoda, aka Brick Lady, is telling the truth about her experience?
I'm not sure if she's telling the truth. Initially, I believed her because I've seen things like that where, I've even experienced it myself, to be honest, where I've told a guy, I'm not interested, and he's like threatening to hit me or punch me or whatever. I've experienced that, so I know that could happen. So initially, I'm kind of biased sometimes. Like, if a woman says I was hurt, I tend to believe it. But then a lot of evidence has been coming out and things like that, and now I don't know. I don't know if I believe her 100% anymore. So I would have to wait to see what the evidence, proves.
Joe?
I think I'm in the same boat with Dina. Like initially you're like, oh, how could this happen? And then, as the detective said, it was there was no brick, it was probably a bottle, even though violence against women in under any circumstance is not okay. But she was the aggressor, and so it's I guess we'll see.
Angela?
Yeah, and so let me say this. I can only judge things from the perspective of how I live, and how I live basically is from being a mental health counselor. And some of my patients, they make up these stories, and what we have to do, it's my job to believe what you are telling me, right? So I have to, whatever you come in and say, when I'm assessing you, I'm going to believe you. However, but in this particular case, I'm sorry, I just don't believe her. Just judging off of what came after. She said at first, like the other lady said, yeah, I believed her. And then I was like, no, I don't think so, especially with the past history of making a GoFundMe to get money from people. So that type of evidence is no, I don't know, So that's my take.
Teresa?
A lot of what the rest of the women have said, but what I first thought, for me, I'm at this stage in my life, I've seen so many different things that you got to show me the facts. I feel for everybody. I love everybody. I hope the best for everybody. And reality as well, though, is what's your track record? Where are the facts? I mean, there are a lot of good performers out there in the world, a lot of good performers. And I love entertainment. Yes, I do. But when it comes down to things like this, I need more facts, especially with them saying surveillance. Doesn't mean nothing else occurred before that. And okay, clearly she was hit with something. I don't know if it's a water bottle, was it a frozen water in it or something that was, but I can't just go off of that because I've seen it happen too many times, too many ways. And I mean, I was much younger at one point, so I'm gonna go ahead and use that as the excuse. But I was not even 18 years old. Someone said something happened, I immediately just go for their defense. Found out that it didn't happen, I felt pretty bad about it. So for me, I got to get all the facts. Who am I to say I don't see everything, but you're gonna need some more people, need some more data for me to be able to say you lied or you telling the truth. I don't know. I can't really say, but I definitely didn't automatically believe her. No. And unfortunately, the last few things that went viral was something similar where someone made up a story and went on and pretty much pocket money in days. Like, wow, this can be a career for you. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got relatives. I'm just gonna be honest. I kind of those same situations, and due to these experiences, I can't just go off what you say. I'm gonna need some more data.
Thank you, ladies. So I'll jump in really quick. So yeah, when I was looking over some articles and, when I watched the news clip that I played for you ladies, I thought it was interesting how, I guess, I'm sure someone from the police department in her area was saying that I guess they checked surveillance cameras and I guess the math wasn't mathing. It's looking like some of you ladies were saying, is looking like someone threw like a water bottle ladder, but it's not matching up to a brick. A water bottle and a brick are clearly two different things. I still feel like there's something fishy about this because honestly, as long as we're living in this country and we have the skin that we have, I'm going to always just still wonder maybe there's something we're missing here. But my fear in this case, and kind of similar to another case, but I'll just stick to this. My fear with this situation is that I just hope this doesn't affect Black women that make reports about things, because I don't want it to start looking like, the Black woman that cried wolf. That's the thing that kind of made me a little nervous about this when this became viral again, because now they're calling her a liar. That's my only fear about things like this, kind of similar to Carly Russell back in, months ago, last year, lying about seeing a toddler, kidnapping, all that craziness. I just feel like I'm starting to see these stories a little too much, and it's starting to make me a little uncomfortable, but that's just kind of my take on it.
So sorry. But there were historically a lot of white women that did this crap. People died. And like, we're not questioning their integrity. But when a Black woman, for whatever reason, does these not so wonderful things, then it's like, oh, all Black women. I think we need to stop with that because, as you said, there are like valid victims. There are, and like we I guess you have to judge. As Teresa says, each case, show me evidence instead of just being like, yeah, she's like good or she's bad or this one's fine. Like case by case, show me the evidence. That's it.
I agree. I hope that continues to happen. That's my hope. All right, ladies, this is the last topic, and we're all set. Common says he's the marrying type as he goes public with Jennifer Hudson.
Okay, so can I send my flowers right here, Mr. Common?
Yes, yes.
There he go, y'all. Chicago's own, the legendary Common. Yes. Okay, so obviously we've both known each other for a while, and we have a lot in common because we both were raised in Chicago. You got a lot of hometown Chicago pride?
Yes, I definitely do. What about yes,
That's
you
the
do.
home. You know, when you're from Chicago, you got to represent. I'm from the South Side. What area are you from?
I'm from the South Side. I got South Side, yes.
Now, we got to get down to business, Mr. Common. I'm a host, and so I have to ask you this question, because everybody always want to know this. Are you dating anyone?
So, yes, and I'm in a relationship that is one of the most beautiful people I ever met. And she's smart, she loves God, she has something real down to earth about her. She's talented, but I set my standard kind of high because she had to have an EGOT. She had to win an Oscar on her first movie. I set my standard high. She had to get her own talk show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so what about you though? How is your love life?
I'm dating this one, and I am very happy. Are you happy in your relationship?
Yes, this relationship is a happy place for me. It's like
I love that you use the word happy place.
no, but seriously, it's like for me, it's one of the things where I found where I can seeing her happy actually makes me really happy. So I'm very grateful. I thank God each and every day, and I'm just letting God guide this relationship.
Because God is in it, right?
God is in it.
That's right. Yeah. Listen. Okay, this is the happy place. And we
speak on it.
She the one you say.
Speak on it.
I
heard that. Speak on it.
But here at the happy place, we like to respect people's privacy, so I'm not going to ask you too many more questions about that. Yeah. But you know, everybody want to know, so I had to. Yeah. Ms. Hudson had to get into that thing.
We keep it private, but I want to acknowledge how wonderful she is, how great she is, so that's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel that same way about my partner.
Okay.
All right, lady. I see some reactions. It's making me laugh. All right, ladies, this is an easy question. Do you think Common is ready to settle down? All right. And I would start with Dina. In your opinion, I know you don't know him, but just in your, public opinion, just watching him from afar, do you think he's finally ready to settle down at the age of, I believe, 51?
Oh my gosh, I don't know enough about Common. I mean, I follow the Shade Room, and they've done posted so many women that he's been through. I think the longest relationship he's been has been like a year or two. So I don't know. I don't get that vibe from Common. I think he's respectful. I mean, even the whole situation with Tiffany Haddish, they thought they were in a good place, and I love Tiffany Haddish. I love J Hud. I don't know these people, but from what I see, I like them. And she thought they were, Tiffany Haddish thought that they were good. Tiffany Haddish still mad about Common because she still talks about him and says she don't understand what happened. So just like with Jennifer Hudson, she seems to be happy happy. They seem to be happy. They seem to be in a good place. But his track record, I'm very much on show me who you are, and I believe you. So I don't know if he's ready to settle down yet. I don't know.
Jay?
I did not even know about his track record. No. I did not know. They're really cute. They're really cute though. I love it. Like I love the banter back and forth. I guess they got to decide what's happening in their relationship, but from the outside, it's super cute. I'm here for it.
Angela?
I think Common thinks it's his personal responsibility to date all of our best women. I'm sorry, but he went through some of the best women that we have. And it's like, did you take on a challenge or something? However, I think if anybody possibly may have a shot, it's Jennifer Hudson. So let's see.
Thank you, Angela. Teresa?
That was hilarious. It looks like that they are enjoying themselves. They are having fun. Um, and I think that they both are at least mature enough to know what they're doing, whatever it may be. But it looks like they're enjoying themselves. They're having a good time. Yeah, I hope that they continue to grow, and yeah, they Chicago. So, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna stick together. Trust and believe that. But I wish them well, and I hope whatever they want to do, they do it, but enjoy it. So far, it looks like they're enjoying the moment. So that's what matters.
Well, I enjoyed speaking with you ladies, and I look forward to meeting up again. Like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to join our next conversation.